All right, welcome to the Freeform Rock Podcast after show. As always, we are getting a plethora of new people on here. Shane's been on here, Lee's been on here. Lee was
Yeah.
the inventor of this with us on this channel, but
Yeah. Oh,
I
okay.
got
Happy inventing to me. Anyway.
happy Halloween to you guys if you guys
Okay,
celebrate
that's cool.
Halloween.
I
Uh,
I like candy.
I know they've given us too much at work. I'm a die. I have to diabetes, like from
Yeah,
Presley.
well.
But man, there's some good shit in music news. I just want to hear you guys' opinions on, man.
Oh.
But Tracy Guns sets the record straight. I created Guns N' Roses because some person on X or Twitter was questioning, what have you done? You're just a junkie. And he goes, for one thing, I've never been a junkie. And for one thing, I created Guns N' Roses and LA Guns. And then the guy
Huh.
shut up on him. What do you think about that, Lee?
Well, when it comes to Guns N' Roses, I would have wanted to hear the version with him because the version without him, well, I, they're okay, but I mean, I like LA Guns better, but it's like, okay, so someone said that, and whatever they said. I mean, me, I'm kind of like, um, I usually, unless people say stuff about me, if they're talking, well, I like gossip, and so when someone stirs trouble, it's interesting. But I mean, I didn't think it was that interesting. I mean, if they're gonna pick on someone, why don't they pick on Motley Crue or a group who deserve it more? Why are they picking it on a group that doesn't do any crap? You know what I mean? That's my attitude.
What do you think about it, Mooger Fooger?
um, Tracy's got a point. I've read many books about the beginning of the LA scene, and he is the one who started the incubus of Guns N' Roses. So,
Yeah, it's
what
like Charles Trainer always gives LA Gun shit. And I'm just gonna say, man, rest in peace, Steve Riley. But I'm not gonna change my opinion. You were a scab version of LA Guns. So, but thank you for the music you made with the real LA Guns, but and Wasp. That was cool shit. But the thing is, when you're trying to like mooch off the name LA Guns, when basically you were like the Michael Anthony of the group, were just given credit to write songs. It was Phil and Tracy writing the songs, or Kenny Queens, or someone like that. You didn't really write anything. So rest in peace. And Tracy Guns is right. He did create Guns N' Roses. He split up from them. Him and Axl got into a fight. They brought in Slash. He made his own band, LA Guns, and Guns N' Roses much more successful, which Charles Trainer is going to say they don't fill out stadiums. They do Rib Fest. Yes, they do. But
Hmm.
the Black Diamonds album by LA Guns is way better than anything that Guns N' Roses put out in the last 10 years.
Guns N' Roses
Hmm.
had exactly two good albums, and there was the debut. You take Use Your Illusions, combine it into one, it might have made a mediocre one good record. Chinese Democracy is actually more enjoyable to me than either of the Use Your Illusions, my opinion. And if you take every LA Guns record that has come out, it surpasses most Guns N' Roses material by far.
Right on.
And
Oh, definitely.
and I'm not saying that Guns N' Roses is inferior by any means, man. They're a huge rock band. Right place, right time, right management, right people. They got it. LA Guns to me was just sonically the better band. But and
Yeah.
Tracy Guns has never been strung out. He's never been a druggie. He's always been consistent. He's always been cool. And he's always been down to earth. I've met him a couple of times, so he's a pretty cool dude. So I
Right
like LA
on.
Guns.
And people
That's
get on
cool.
him for having an anxiety attack and playing guitar from the restroom. At
You
least he
have to
finished
do
that
that
show.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes. Yeah, some bad fish. Who knows?
yeah. But then are you guys Beatles fans?
Yes.
Are,
Yeah,
are you guys looking forward to the new Beatles song coming out this week?
Doesn't matter
I'll
what
be
to me one way or the
interested.
other.
I'll be interested to hear it. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm going to go out and buy it, but I mean, and I'm also probably not even going to really eagerly look for it. But if I'm on YouTube and I hear it mentioned a lot, I might quickly want to see what it's like just to see if it's going to be okay. But I mean, so far the stuff that they've done, like the demos that I mean, it's interesting to see like this what if they did some like because people like to think what did the Beatles do after, so it gives them a hypothetical reason to think about, oh okay, this would have been what they would have done, and like like and then in my opinion it kind of proves that they broke up at the right time. It's just like, for instance, they talk about um Pete Willis and Def Leppard, and that if he had stayed in Def Leppard, they wouldn't have gone down the commercial route. But there were a few later albums that Pete Willis did that were extremely the same sound. So he could have possibly made them go in the same direction. So there's no accounting for what ifs, because sometimes things would happen the way they do anyway, because that's how they happened.
Kind of like
That's just
when
my idea.
kind of like when people say if like Cliff Burton never died, stayed with Metallica, what they have sounded like. I think he would have went in that same direction because he liked jazz. He liked a lot of different types of music compared to thrash.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
they would have still went that down that same route.
Yeah.
Well, when you speak about Cliff, he's the one who brought the classic sensibility to the band. He's the one who wrote the beginning to Fight Fire with Fire, that little acoustic intro. That was Cliff.
Mm,
The
mm,
little acoustic intro to Battery. That was, or
mm,
not Battery. Yeah, Battery. So the beginning of the Master of Puppets record, that was Cliff. I mean, he had such a different sensibility about him, but would they have continued on the thrash lineage, or because would James and Lars have kept him there? But I think it would have been a little bit more progressive. So
mm,
I think it would have been
mm,
natural. But get back to the Beatles question.
mm,
What was it back in like 97, 98? They did that Free as a Bird. And it
Yeah.
was like some of the last Lennon vocals, and they kind of mashed it together and they kind of came up with a new song. That was pretty cool. Um, I'm not really interested in an AI version of anything, and certainly not the Beatles, but I would be very interested to hear what it came out like. You know, I'm with Lee. We're gonna definitely be
yeah.
curious to hear it. Will I go out and buy it and spend money on it? Probably not. But who does these days anyway? So
Yeah.
Eh, I just bought two new CDs. I bought
I
going
bought
into
Dokken, I bought Duran Duran today.
yeah, do you like that Duran Duran, don't you? It's
I've
fucking
listened to 4 songs so far, and I'm right in the astronaut pocket. I don't know if you remember that record.
yes,
It
I
came
do. Reach
like
out for the
99,
sunrise.
2000. No, it
Yep.
came out in 2005, I think.
I love every fucking Duran Duran album, even Big Thing.
Even Red Carpet Massacre.
Yes, with
Really?
fucking Justin Timberlake on there, dude.
Ah, don't like that one at all.
Oh, I love that fucking album. There's a lot of fucking deep tracks on that album
Are
compared
there?
to
I have
single.
to go deeper. I have to
Yeah,
go
you
deeper.
need to listen to the other shit on that album. That album is fucking
This
amazing,
is
dude.
my favorite Duran Duran since Astronaut.
You didn't listen to Invisible, their last album?
Not much, not much, because they turned me off with a couple of records. So
Ah,
my wife
dude.
is the hugest Duran Duran fan. So
Notorious is their best album. Everybody says Rio.
no,
Notorious is my favorite Duran Duran album.
Notorious is where it lands, buddy.
Notorious,
And
dude.
to be honest with me, and I'm not even going classic Duran Duran. If I'm going Duran Duran, it's Astronaut. That's my favorite Duran Duran record.
Well, Notorious was before Astronaut. I
I
do love
way
Astronaut,
before,
dude.
way before. Yes.
I love the Wedding album with Warren Cucurullo on guitar too.
Mm.
Ordinary World. I love
Oh
that
yes,
shit.
yes, that's
Yeah.
really good. Yeah,
Dude, I'm a huge anything Duran has ever done, I've
good,
liked.
awesome. I
It's
appreciate
Simon
that.
Le Bon and John Taylor, dude, and Nick Rhodes with those quirky keyboards, man. Those
Yeah.
three members. I love Andy Taylor.
I
But
love him and I wish him the best, but I don't think he's gonna be with us too much longer. So
yeah, dude, have you got to the song Lonely Super Freak yet?
I have not. I've not got that deep
You
yet.
know the song Duran Lonely in Your Nightmare, right? Cause
Yes,
I'm lonely in your
yes,
nightmare, let
yes,
me.
yes.
Well, they mix that song, and then
Into
at the
Super
end
Freak?
they go into Super Freak.
Oh my goodness.
And that new version of Night Boat. Oh, fuck! They have Andy Taylor on there. Fucking amazing, dude.
You're gonna get too deep into it. I've been like Lynch Mob, Dokken, Doro, or been my three I've been listening to this week.
I got all
New
three of those albums. I bought them on CD.
Yes. And Dave Rude from Tesla released a new
Oh, I
song
got to
for
get
the
his album too. I love him.
yeah, it's an okay song. It could I thought it could have been stronger. I hope he has stronger stuff on the record, but um, still good stuff. And then I saw you had purchased that. I had purchased Dokken, and you saw me Duran. I was like, I'm going back. I went back and I got the Duran. And I told my wife, I was like, oh my God, Duran's got a new one out. And she was like, oh my God, put it on. And we got about 3 songs in before we had to start the podcast. So
Ah, oh, you're gonna love it.
and
There's not
we look forward to digging into it.
their version of Psycho Killer. It's funky as fuck, dude.
What about Paint It Black?
It's great. I like it. They put their own. Even Eddie Conestrachi, when I sent it to him, dude, text, he said it was good. Not as good as the original. I go, duh.
No, you can't be.
No, but they do their own Duran stamp on Paint It Black, and I love it.
Nice.
Fucking you haven't heard of the new Duran, right, Lee?
Right.
Yeah, so we won't talk to you about that.
Thank you.
But what do you think about Rick Emmett on his Tramp bandmates? They are friends, but they are not close friends. Mooger.
It's a business. I mean, they toured the world. They put out very successful records. They were great musicians. They had a chemistry, but it doesn't mean you have to be best friends. I mean, look at the Police. I mean, Stuart Copeland, one of the most amazing drummers ever. Sting, amazing musician, perfectionist. The other guy that plays guitar, that guy. Andy. They're
Andy
all
Summers. Yeah.
right. I know. I was just saying he's like the one no one never talks about.
Yeah, he
That's
doesn't get credit for don't what's that, Every Breath You Take. He came up with that guitar riff and Sting
he's
didn't give him writing credit, man.
he's absolutely integral. But that band, I mean, you take Triumph, you take Rick Emmett, and you think all these great songs, all these great tours, they're going to be just the best of buds. Yeah, you might be while you're on tour, but you're from different providence, you're from different states, you're from whatever. You get your own life and you kind of move out. It is kind of surprising to me, like, well, we were friends, but we weren't really good friends. And I'm like, how can you not be good friends when you're on the road 18 months out of a year on one of your biggest records? And you somehow didn't come together. But then I look at the Police. Maybe it was the same situation where you had also a trio where somebody might have been taking more credit than it deserved, or somebody got more of a spotlight than it deserved, and egos come into play. And when you're young and you're successful, and I don't know, man. I think it maybe just been egos and success kept them
Well,
from
Rick
being.
Emmett has said that the other two want to go more pop and he want to go more rock. So they had a disconnect there on that shit.
That's what I'm
So
saying. It's
yeah.
like they were so popular, they were so good, they were so talented, and the Police wanted to go three different ways. Okay, and they ended up where they ended up perfectly for a time. But then there was a time when those three wanted to go three different directions than they did. So,
Yeah, you could tell with that song "Mother." Andy Summers was the worst version of the Police.
right.
What do you think about
Um,
that? Rick Emmett and the other two members of Triumph weren't good friends.
oh, I mean that's like saying I know you, but I've never visited you. It's like, so what? It's like I'm not I'm not trying to measure the scope of whether or not certain bandmates were good friends. It's just that as long as they go in the studio and they all come out alive without hurting each other, I'm fine with it. And I think that of the band members, the songwriting that I liked the least was Rick Emmett. I liked Gil
Ooh.
Moore's stuff better.
Oh, you like
If
the American
if
Girls?
if yes, that's the stuff that I like. I don't like
Hold
Hold
on,
On.
hold
I
on.
don't like it, and
You
I
don't
don't
like
like
Hold On?
Just a Game. I
Just the
like
game. That song
Young Enough to
rules.
Cry. I like Young Enough to Cry. I
That's a great.
like
That is a great
yeah,
song. No, yeah.
yeah.
But
That's the way that I feel about it.
music,
And so as
music.
far as I'm concerned, I would prefer to get a Gil Moore album than Rick Emmett, and that is
The
me.
magic of a melody flows through you like a stream. The
I
notes
don't
that play
like it.
through your head like a dream, like a dream. I sing this song for the common man. I sing for people in despair. I bring my song into the world and I bring it everywhere. The magic of a melody flows through you like a stream.
Oh,
Come
give it
on,
to a
man. Rick
presidential
Emmett,
electorate. Give
fucking
it to a
never
presidential
surrender,
electorate.
man. Never
Uh,
surrender. Fight
give
the
it
good
to
fight.
give it to a presidential guy, and he can use it in his speech, and people will vote.
Fight the good fight.
That's what it's about. It's
Never
Hallmark.
surrender.
It's
Keep your
Hallmark.
dreams
It's
alive.
Hallmark card writing. It's
No.
easy. People can do it. I could do it. I used to
My
do it.
favorite Gilmore song is When the Lights Go Down off Never Surrender. When he says, when the lights go down, it's time to light the fuse. When the lights go down, it's time to light, time to light, time to light the fuse. He's talking about backstage smoke is rising. He's describing a concert. That's my favorite Gilmore song. But fucking Rick Emmett, without Rick Emmett, and they had Phil X in the band, it did not fucking work without Rick. Those three members were fucking soul
Well,
fucking
of course,
brothers.
I can understand that if it didn't work like with Rick, if it wasn't that great to begin with, it can be even worse with someone else because the other two guys were the better two. So they go from mediocre to even worse.
No. Rick Emmett solo albums, fucking
I'll have to
amazing.
listen to him. I'll have to listen because I've seen him in interviews and I
Listen
like
to
him
Absolute. Listen to
as a
Absolutely.
person.
Listen to
But if it
Absolutely.
sounds like Hold On, if any of it sounds like
Billy
Hold On,
Ocean.
if if eight of the songs sound like that, then I'm going to be disappointed.
Kirby Quick.
That's yuck.
He just put up Billy Ocean, man.
Where'd that come from? Was that
I
the
don't
ghost
know.
of Billy?
Come on. Without Rick Emmett, Triumph sucks. Admit that.
Uh, I will admit that I don't like his songs that much.
You
See?
need to listen to
You are
Absolutely.
entitled to that opinion, sir.
Yeah, I
What do
mean
you think,
it's
Mooger Fooger? Doesn't Triumph suck without Rick?
What?
Doesn't Triumph suck without Rick? Or Night Ranger
I
suck without fucking Jack Blades?
that's the thing. You can't have you can't have Triumph without Rick, and you can't have Jack Blades not being Night Ranger. I mean,
Yes.
that's just the way it is. I mean, because whether you like them on their own or not, the I hate to say this, like the team is more important than one of their parts, whatever you want to say, however you want to say that. Because once again, I bring the police into fact. They hated each other. Not one of them liked each other, but they made amazing music. Okay. So Rick Emmett might have really shitty like solo songs, whatever. But
Oh,
some of that, whatever
absolutely, is
was
a
in his
great
solo song,
album.
comes together with somebody else, comes together with somebody else. Ah, this is a great song. Now we have three parts to a song that we never thought would happen. Now it's amazing. It's a hit. It's a gold record. It's a platinum record because people put their egos down and listen to somebody else, you know. And I've been in bands all my life. So sometimes I have an idea I don't want to let go. Somebody rips it apart and it becomes better. So I think these bands, if they would have just dropped their egos a notch, we'd still have them. They'd still be putting out better music. So
Yeah, Van Halen, if they never got rid of Daily Roth, probably would have done some great shit. Now I'm a Sammy Hagar. I love Sammy Hagar.
okay.
But I agree that David Lee Roth is Van
The
Halen.
dick. I'm sorry, did that come out wrong? I'm
He
sorry.
called me a dick.
I'm sorry.
I love Sammy. You know I love Sammy.
You know who he copied, who was a great frontman? Jim Dandy from
Oh
Black Oak,
yeah,
Arkansas. That is if you go, he predates fucking David Lee Roth, and David Lee Roth emulated Jim Dandy,
I
and
understand
David Lee
that.
Roth became that egotistical motherfucking dick on
But did
stage
Jim
who could
Dandy
barely
ever
sing. He
jump
never hit
over a
an
drum
octave.
riser?
He
well
never hit an octave. He never went anywhere. He just
I used to I
strutted
used to
around, barely sung, and he became Van Halen. And that's
I
fine.
used to I used to listen to I knew of Black Oak Arkansas before I heard them, but I remember knowing about them when I was about 7 years old. And their album, like If an Angel Came to Your Doorstep, Would You Invite Her to Tea? And then I finally got that album. It's one that's not well known, but
Right.
listen to that album sometime. It's their second album, and the group is playing. It starts out playing folk music, and then it gets more heavy, and then Jim Dandy sings like like his voice is way low. So it takes a little while to get used to it, but it's still good stuff.
I like Black Oak or whatever they're called, but I like
Arkansas
Van Halen with Daily
is
Roth better than
Arkansas a state?
Sammy Hagar. I love me some Sammy. I love Solo Sammy. I love The Circle. I love Chicken Foot. I love all that shit. I like Sammy. He needs to shut up about Eddie. Just let that shit go.
It does.
Let David give himself a noose. It's like, but fuck, man. I like Sammy. I like The Circle.
I've met Sammy 3 times, and every time he's been very cool. Now I'm 49, getting ready to be 50. So when I kind of was a little bit before or above the Roth era, Jump was my first foray into Van Halen. I
Mm.
hated the song Jump when I was a kid. And I love metal. I love rock. I loved everything. I was like, this song sucks. Who's Van Halen?
Yeah.
But then you get the album from Columbia House and you hear Top Jimmy and go, whoa.
Nope. Never had a record, never had a cassette, never knew any of my
Oh,
friends had
that
it
whole
either.
album has a lot of great songs on it.
It wasn't until I saw the movie, Better Off Dead, where he was flipping
Oh,
burgers
everybody
and
wants some.
everybody wants some. And I was like, that's a fucking great song. Somebody said, dude, that's Van Halen. I'm like, okay. So I went backwards and I was like, yeah, these guys are okay. Stupid videos, horrible frontman, ego, whatever. But the songs are okay.
But do you
When
Yeah.
do you think
5150,
Women and Children First is better than OU812?
um, I'm not going to even sit there and deny that, but
What is better?
women, children first.
Thank you. Bushy, you
Yeah.
suck. There you go. Okay, go ahead.
But when 5150 came out, I was 12, 13, 14 years old. And Why Can't This Be Love Da-na-na. And I ended up even playing the song in a 80s tribute band I was in. What a great song. What great melody. What a great vocal Sammy had to Van Halen. They're still Van Halen, by the way, not Van Hagar, because you still have Alex Van Halen and Eddie Van Halen still calling it Van Halen.
Michael
They
Anthony
didn't
with
call
those
it. They didn't
backing
call it Van
vocals. Come
Sharon when
on.
Gary came in. Okay.
You know, I didn't like that album when it first came out, but 15 years later, I like most of the
I loved
songs.
it. It did not leave my airways, man. I
Oh, it
love
did. I liked
5150.
Without You, and that was it. But then when I saw Lethal Weapon 4, I bought it on DVD years later. I go, there's fire in a hole. I need to go listen to this album again. I love that song.
Here's my piece with everybody who's a Sammy hater. Roth era fucking rules.
It
And
does.
I grew up with more with the Sammy era, and that has more memories for me than the Roth era. I love that I have two Van Halens that I can go to, and I love equal. And I don't put one down for the other. Otherwise, I don't wish death threats on either. I love them both. Peace.
So, solo Sammy, solo David.
So, Sammy.
Thank you. Lee, what do you think about that shit?
I probably would listen to a Sammy solo album before a David one, only because I already heard the best David ones, but the best David ones are better than practically all of Sammy's solo stuff.
Oh,
I'm just
10,
a gigolo.
1013.
Really?
Well, I'm not
1013
necessarily
is an
From the
amazing
listening.
heat?
Sammy
Are
album.
you serious with me? No,
I'm
I'm
not.
not
I'm not
talking
talking
about
about
Eat 'em
just a
Smile. I'm not
gigolo.
talking about Eat 'em
All right.
Smile.
Yeah.
Eat 'em
Okay?
and Smile is the Lost Van Halen album.
No, that's an amazing fucking record.
Yeah.
Skyscraper sucks.
I like
Everything beyond
Skyscraper,
that's
but
okay.
it's not better than any Sammy solo album.
But I'm talking about the. All right, then the one good album is better than most of Sammy's solo stuff.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, have you heard 1013?
Have you ever heard the album 9 out of 10 scale?
That album sucks, Lee.
Yeah. Well, I kind of feel that the other ones are just a tiny bit better than that.
You know, Ian
Okay.
Wadley will be
I'm actually
on.
start I'm starting to take Lee's side on this a little bit because Little Ain't Enough was a great record.
That was a good album.
They
And so
have
was the
James
That
D.
Becker
was
on it.
that was
So was
probably
the
the other one.
DRL album was good
That
too.
that one I have not yet heard.
Little Ain't Enough?
But
No,
that
DLR.
that
Oh,
album was
that's
She's
good.
My Machine. That was the only good song on that album.
Hmm.
Because then he did country shit with fucking
Huh.
some asshole. What was that album with She's My Machine on it?
Is
That
that
album
your
sucked.
dirty little mouth?
Your dirty little mouth. That album
Dirty Little
sucked.
Mouth. That's it.
That album sucked.
I've always tried listening to it and I keep falling asleep after about a few songs.
Yeah, but when you wear the listen to Standing Captain, Three Lock Box, 1013,
Three lock boxes. Well, like I said,
VOA.
I'd probably
VOA.
Dick in the Dirt.
I
I
probably
love Dick
listen
in
to
the
it.
Dirt.
I'm not saying that I would like it better, but didn't I already say I would probably first listen to a Sammy solo album?
Dude, the two Chicken Foot albums are amazing.
I've tried listening to them and I keep forgetting how they sound.
all the Circle albums are great.
I'll have to listen
Dude, you
to a
don't like
Circle album.
fucking Soap on a Rope? That song fucking rules.
Yeah.
Dude.
Let's move on to something more than Sammy and Dave.
Well,
That's
I like Sammy though.
that's been hashed.
But man, what do you think about Blackie Lawless on the importance
I
of
don't even care about anything about him, but go on.
on free speech? I don't want to limit the ability to speak in a new interview with Metal Shop. Wasp and Blackie Lawless spoke about how he was affected by his experience with the PMRC, Parents Music Resource Center, more than 3.5 decades ago. What do you think about that, Lee?
like I said, I don't care one way or the other. I all right. Well, if he wants to, talk. If he does an interview, go ahead and talk. I don't care. I mean, I don't think the guy has been relevant for 30 years. Sorry.
I saw him and Armored Saint twice.
Hmm.
He was amazing.
Hmm.
The guy sang great. Yes, he sang the backing track, but he was singing to his own voice. So he was doubling his track like he did on the albums. So I was okay with that.
Hmm.
I'm okay with that too because they were all playing their instruments. They had some embellishments, which means yes, he was singing to his own voice. The guys were all singing, really singing the background vocals, but they had enhanced background vocals. This is the middle of Vanilla, man. It was them. They were just making it sound arena size level and with a little bit of backing. I don't have a problem with that at all. Because when you're in the moment and you're in a crowd and you see the lights and you love the song and you're reliving the moment, who gives a fuck if it's like somebody not pushing a little backing on that? I don't give a shit. And now if they walk away from the mic and they're still singing, I might have a little bit of an issue with that. But
Yes,
Hmm.
what? Who?
yes.
Huh?
Paul
Rush?
Stanley.
Yeah, Rush. Yeah, Rush did that.
No, Rush never walked
Rush?
away from the
Did you say
mic.
Rush? I'm sorry, my
I
hearing's a
said
little bad.
Kiss.
Rich Rush? Did you say Rush?
Rush did cheat you,
Geddy
man.
Lee?
Geddy Lee sang all his shit.
Geddy Stanley?
No.
No. Trust me, man. I'm the hugest Kiss fan in the world. And I've seen the End of the Road tour twice. And I don't give a
What?
shit if I'm watching a videotape or the band. It was still tears in my eyes when it ended because I loved it. I don't give a shit what they're doing right now. And everyone, that's the problem, man. You're the problem, man. That's why all this stuff can continue because you pay money to see it, man. But yes, I did. And yes, I did enjoy it. And yes, I don't give a fuck what you think about me. Now, if I go to a club to watch Rival Sons and I see Jay Buchanan up there canning his vocals, which is never going to happen, I would be disheartened. But I'm watching Kiss. It's a brand, it's a company, it's what I grew up with and I will die with. I just want to see the show one last time, and I saw the show two last times. Awesome. Go out and lip sync Mr. Stanley. That's fine. You've earned it. You obviously been plagued with us since alive. No one thought you did that, and you didn't. So who cares, man? I mean, for that kind of band, for my experience with Kiss, I was happy. Now, Mark, you said it very well that Rival Sons is the most important hard rock American band right now. And anyone who can't listen to Lightbringer and Darkbringer, they're idiots if they don't hear that. It's just drums, bass, keys, vocals, all real, all live. And I love that. But I'm not going to strike anybody for embellishing their live show a little bit if they have to. Just not going to do it
Uh,
because I'm in the crowd. I'm enjoying the show. My wife and I just watched a Milli Vanilli documentary this afternoon, which was about Milli Vanilli. We don't necessarily care for the music. We love music docs.
I love music docs too. I'll watch it too.
Yeah, and they got like ridiculed for what people are doing today over and over and over again. They lost their lives. For one guy did, the other guy
Well,
didn't.
it's like Ashley Simpson when she lip synced on Saturday Night Live. She
You
had
you
no career
posted that.
after
It's
that.
like lost her career. Everyone does it
Yeah.
today. So it's like, okay, do you like
And
the
now nobody
artist or don't
cares.
you?
It's
Yeah.
like, why?
So it was I mean, I don't have a problem with Blocky admitting that he embellishes the show with some backing. First off, that keeps you guys in check, keeps you on in sync. And I know for a fact Queensryche did that back on the Empire tour.
I've seen them with Todd. They're really good.
Who?
Todd Latore,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
really good.
What's up
But
next, bud?
Lee, what do you think about backing shit and stuff like that, man?
Well, I know that if I'm not going to those shows, then I'm not going to be losing any money on anything. So, you know, it don't bother me in that way. And if I'm listening to someone album, it's not going to bother me either because it's still recorded things. I go to shows, usually club shows, where the artists will go out afterwards and I can meet them. So for me, it's about a live experience and possibly even talking to them. To me, going to a show and thinking, I mean, if it's a group that I know isn't going to come out, yeah, then that's different. But if it's a group that I go because I think that they might even be coming out afterwards, and I can talk to them, and I can't, or some, then to me it would be like you want to go to a restaurant on the last day where you've always wanted to eat something that they were known for, their famous thing, and you stand in line and you're one customer after when they say last burger sold, and you never get a chance to try it and you're frustrated. That's sort of how I feel about if I go to a show and I can't at least have possibly the opportunity to see some. I feel like I've it's like an opportunity missed, or it's like I could have just stayed home and watched the video. And that's my opinion. So
Yeah.
for me, backing tracks is just another issue. It's like if people aren't even going to meet the artist, if all they're going to do is just go to listen to the show, then why don't they just watch the video? The only reason why you would go to a show then is because you like the audience, you like the energy, and you can maybe go out to get food later, or you can get a beer, and it's just something to do. But it's like with me, I'd like to at least let artists know that I exist, and then that way after I meet them, they know at least a little bit who I am. That way it's interconnected. That way, even if they forget me afterwards, they had the opportunity to meet me. I'm not just a part of hello America or hello Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? That's me.
Amen.
Yeah, man.
Well, we just recently saw Seven Dust in concert
Hmm.
right there.
All right.
Nice t-shirt. And speaking of meet to go back, I guess it's like I
Hmm.
don't have a problem with the band embellishing a little bit on their, like, as long as they're singing, they're playing, they went through some extra tracks in there with them. I have no problem with that. But as far as you say, Lee, is like I want to go meet this person. I want to let them know they see me, I see you. Lejean Witherspoon, the lead singer for Seven Dust, has
Hmm.
met us about 100 times, and he's
Wow.
always so gracious and he's so welcoming. And after their set here in Fort Wayne, we had gone back to the restaurant just to, take a break, grab a beer or whatever. And he was there and he was like so accommodating, remembered us.
Wow.
He
That's really cool.
remembered Jana, my wife's Jana's name. He doesn't know my name. He just remembers the chick's name. That's fine.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And he remembered her name and he gave us a big hug and he was like, thanks for coming out. We never miss them. And they put on a great show. Was there
Cool.
embellishment in that show? Laptops in that show? Absolutely. And it was to the key of Chiclet, you know, like different things. Like
Hmm.
they were playing their instrument, they were
Yeah.
singing, you know. So a little bit of background embellishment, I have no problem with that at
Yeah.
all.
I don't either,
Like you
man.
said, Lee, as long as a person remembers who you are.
Hmm.
That is really
Yeah.
cool, man. But I like Lee. You have anything to promote, man?
If people want to watch my YouTube channel, I have a bunch of compositions up there. I haven't done a lot of reviews. I do occasional YouTube reviews, like I did one on. Well, I won't mention who. I'll just say
You need to do more
a
podcasts
couple
with
of
Charles,
things.
man.
Yeah, I'm it. If I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. I'm like it's up to my mood. But I'm not I'm not a guy who has like a firm schedule. It's like, oh, I want to go to work today. And then I go to work and my boss said, I fired you a couple of weeks ago. And I say, but I'm ready today. And he says, get out of here. Kind of like that. Except I own the building. So I don't care. So that's how it is. But yeah, if you watch my YouTube channel, or if you like reviews, go and listen to the Lee Gerstmann show on Apple or on Spreaker or there's some older episodes on Spotify. If you get Anchor, it's and some of them are on that. But it all depends. It's like most people like to hear my opinions on things. Some people listen to my music, but hey, if you want to go on my YouTube channel, I suggest, if you don't like one particular thing you've heard, then just try another. I have hundreds of stuff. And, and if you still don't like 100 of them, maybe the 101st one you will. So there you go.
All right, Mooger Fooger, man. Any final thoughts?
Hey, thanks for always having me, guys. Lee, always a pleasure to hang with you.
Hey, I
And
was glad to hear some of your opinions. You were right on, and I enjoyed hearing them.
whether I'm right on or right off, we all need to keep an open mind, an open heart, open
Yeah,
ears, and
yeah,
and we can all learn from one another. And I'm always
yeah.
open. I'm always open. It's
That's
like,
cool.
yeah, I'm just, I thought I had something nailed on the punk scene, but I was schooled on another podcast about
Mm.
that's how it went. That's fine. I'm an open book, man. I'm a sponge. Just I love to learn and I love to hear. I
Yeah.
love hanging out with people. Have this is We could be around the table right now doing shots and drinking a couple of beers and just talk all
Mm.
night and annoy the wives.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love
and
that.
eventually I would start getting belligerent and trying to make my opinion the loudest.
The
So,
Yep.
right one. The right
at
one.
least,
As it
at
should
least,
be.
at least now, I'm only drunk enough to be wanting to do that without actually doing
Yeah.
Well,
it.
I will say
Just
historically
kidding.
on this podcast and on this platform, I'm the most sober I've ever been. So,
I am fucked up
Oh
right
wow,
now.
that's
I am
cool.
really fucked up right
okay,
now.
Mark, I
Mm-hmm.
love you. Thank you so much for always having my back and having me. I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate you.
All
Mm-hmm.
right, let's get the fuck out of here. Thank you guys for being on the after show, man. Later,
Right on.
guys. Bye.
Be
Peace.
well, guys.
Bye.
Bye.